Hey friends, it's Mrs. Walker. For our lesson today, we're going to talk about some different strategies we can use to add and subtract numbers. So our learning goal for today says, I can add and subtract multiples of 10 and some ones. So the materials that you'll need for this lesson are just your dry erase board. So make sure you grab that before you get started. All right, friends, so let's take a look at some cubes. How many cubes do I have here? You can count them. Yep, I have 5 cubes. How many cubes do I have in this next group of cubes with the yellow and blue cubes? We have 8 cubes, right? So what's the difference between 8 and 5? It's 3 because look, I could just separate those and then they have the same amount of yellow on the top and the bottom. So what number sentence could I use to represent the difference between 8 and 5? Well, I could write 8 minus 5 equals 3. I can also model this with a tape diagram. So see how I have the long bar as 8, the shorter bar as 5, and then the amount that this difference is that unknown. But now we know that it's 3. Okay, so here's my picture again together. Same, we have 5 yellow cubes and on the top and 5 yellow and 3 blue on the bottom. But now I'm going to add a green cube to each one. So has the difference changed in this problem? No, it hasn't because we have the same number of yellow and the same number of green. And look, if I just move these blue over again, I still have the same difference of 3. What number sentence could I use to represent the difference between the two sticks? So I want to put them all back together again. So all of the green and yellow and blue on the bottom and the yellow and green on the top. What's a number sentence I could use to represent the difference between those two? Well, I know that the bottom has 9 and the top has 6. So 9 minus 6 equals 3. Now, I'm going to go back to the tape diagram that I had last time and model with the 8 and 5, but this time I'm going to do how I added 1 to each one of those. So did the green cube change the difference? So my problem originally was 8 minus 5. Now it's 9 minus 6. So did my difference change? No, it didn't. When we add the same amount to each number in a subtraction sentence, the difference stays the same. So, friends, I could have had 8 minus 5, and I could have added 10 to each one of those, and the difference wouldn't have changed. Because as long as when you're working with subtraction, if you do one thing to one number and do the same thing to the other number, you're going to get the same difference. My mind is blown, friends. Isn't that a cool strategy? I think that's pretty awesome. All right, so let's test this idea, right? You're thinking to yourself, okay, Mrs. Walker, you're telling us this is really true, but I don't know, I'm not sure. So you might be doubting me. And you know what? That's okay because we want to use maybe some more math practice to prove that strategy can work. So let's prove when we add the same amount to each number in a subtraction sentence, the difference stays the same. And friends, this rule only applies to subtraction. Okay, so let's try it with a new problem. All right, so we have 34 minus 28. Ooh, that one looks intense, doesn't it? That looks like it might be a little bit tricky. There's no friendly numbers in there. So, you know what? Let's try something a little bit easier. What if I asked you to solve 36 minus 30? Could you do that pretty easily? Yeah, you probably could, right? Because we have that friendly number in there of 30. So I want you guys to pause the video, and I want you to solve that problem on your whiteboard, and then click play when you're ready for the next step. All right, friends, pause if you need more time. Okay, so 36 minus 30 is 6. That's pretty easy peasy, right? So let's take a look on why that was an easy problem to solve. Why was that so easy? Well, we just have to take away 3 tens from 3 tens, and that leaves us with 6 ones. So we love those friendly numbers. So now let's look back at 34 minus 28. So I'm going to model this with a tape diagram. So I have 34 and I have 28, right? And I'm trying to find the difference between those two numbers. So how are 34 minus 28 and 36 minus 30 related? So it helps me to write these numbers again like this. So if I'm looking at those and I'm kind of looking at 34 and 36, what happened from 34 to 36? What's the difference there? Yeah, we just added 2, right? So remember that rule when we add or with subtraction, what we do to one number, we have to do the other number. So for these two numbers, we just added 2 also. Okay, so that's how 34 minus 28 and 36 minus 30 are related. So let's check this out. So we added 2 here and we added 2. So that then tells us 36 minus 30. Because if we look here, friends, 34 plus 2 gives me my 36 right here. And 28 plus 2 gives me my 30 down here. So these problems, we're going to use this easier one of 36 minus 30, which we already know is 6, is going to be much easier. So that tells me that 34 minus 28 is also 6. Right? Mind blown again, okay? So the goal of using this strategy is to make one of the numbers as a friendly number to be able to make it easier for us to subtract. All right, let's look at 22 minus 8. So I'm going to model this with a tape diagram. So 22 minus 8. So there's my unknown. So which number can we make a friendly number? Like, do I want to go up with 22 or maybe up with 28 to get to the next friendly number? Yeah, I would use 8, right? Because it's really close to 10. So if I have 8, how many do I need to add to that to get to 10 of that next 10 or friendly number? Yeah, 2, right? 8, 9, 10. So 8 plus 2 equals 10. So with subtraction, what I do to one number, I have to do to the other number. So now my new problem is going to be 22 plus 2, which is 24, and 8 plus 2, which is 10. So 24 minus 10 equals. So I don't know about you guys, but that's a way easier problem for me to solve than 22 minus 8. Okay, I like those friendly numbers. So friends, if I think to myself, 2 tens minus 1 10 is 1 10, and then I have 4 ones left over, that's 14. Okay, that's so much easier for me. So 22 minus 8 is also 14. All right, let's look at another one here. 26 minus 19. So I'm going to have you guys solve this, but I want you to think in your head before you do, which number can I make the friendly number? So am I going to do something to add to 26, or am I going to do something to 19 to get to the next friendly number? So I want you guys to pause the video. You're going to draw a number bond to model, just like I did in the last problem, how you would solve this problem by adding something to one of the numbers to make a friendly number. And remember, what you do to one number, you have to do to the other number. So if you're adding 5, you have to add 5 to both numbers. But hint, friends, it's not 5. So don't add 5 to each number. Okay? So pause the video, draw out your tape diagram, solve this problem, and then click play when you're ready to go over it together. All right, friends. Let's take a look. So again, which number can I make a friendly number? Well, I think 19 is the one to make the friendly number because it's only 1 away from 20. So because of that, I'm going to look at 26 and I'm going to model my 19 here. And I have my difference right there that I'm trying to solve for, but I'm going to add 1 to each one of those numbers. So now the 26 has turned into a 27 and the 19 has turned into a 20. So my new problem is 27 minus 20. Okay, well that's an easy one for me to solve, right? It's 2 tens minus 2 tens and I'm left with 7 ones. So hopefully you guys got that too. And if not, it's okay. This is a tricky strategy, so we're going to keep practicing. All right, so here's some more cubes, right? So in this side, I have 6 blue cubes. On this side, I have 4 blue cubes. How many yellow cubes are there? Yep, just one, right? That one guy in the middle there. What is the total number of cubes? Oh, some of you said 11. 11 is correct. Now, some of you might have just counted the cubes as you went through, but let's talk about how we can maybe write some number sentences to help us. So let's make 2 different addition sentences to help us solve this problem. So over here, if I combine this chunk, I have my 4 and the yellow cube. My addition sentence would be 6 plus 5 equals 11 because I have 6 on the left and then I grouped my yellow cube with my 4 and then I have 5. So 6 plus 5 equals 11. Then if I want to look on this side, now I want to group these ones together. So I have my 4 on its own and I'm grouping the 6 and the 1 and that makes 7. So 7 plus 4 equals 11. So these are 2 different addition sentences that we could write that model this set of cubes. Now, check this out. I'm going to get real crazy and say that 6 plus 5 equals 7 plus 4. Ooh, that's pretty cool, right? Okay, so let's talk about that a little bit more. Let's model using a tape diagram instead of the cubes. So here I have 6. There's the 1, right? So that was like my 6 blue cubes and then my 1 yellow cube and then my 4 more yellow cubes that I had. Well, on this side, that equals 5. So 6 plus 5. And then we're going to see what that equals. Let's come over here. We're going to group it this way. 6 plus 1 equals 7. So then I have 7 plus my 4 that's left over. So 6 plus 5 does equal 7 plus 4. Whoa, that's pretty crazy. We could check that too, friends. Let's look at 6 plus 5. Let's do 6 and count up 5 more. So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, so I have 11. 6 plus 5 equals 11. Let's go back to the 7 plus 4 on the other side now. So let's do 7 plus 4. So 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So on both sides of the equal sign, they both equal 11. So 6 plus 5 does equal 7 plus 4. That's pretty cool. All right, let's look at a bigger number. So we have 28 plus 36. So here's my 28. What does 28 need to be for the next 10 or friendly number? What do I have to add to that to get to that next 10 or friendly number? 2, right? Because 28, I want to get to 30. That's the next friendly number. So 28, 29, 30. Okay. Well, now I'm going to write 34 over here. Why do you think I wrote 34 instead of 36? Because my problem is 28 plus 36. Why do you think, friends? Yeah, because 34, I had to take away 2 from my 36 to make that 28. So when you're doing this with addition, you're not doing the same thing to both numbers. You're kind of like taking from one number to the other. That's kind of like what we do when we use our number bonds, right? Okay. So here, 34, plus 2 still gives me my 36. So I'm still back to the same numbers in my problem. We're just looking at them a little bit differently. Okay, so now over here, I made my friendly number. So 28 plus 2 equals 30. So now my problem is 30 plus 34. And that equals the same as 28 plus 36, right? Because remember, we're just kind of grouping our numbers in a different way. We're using like our number bond strategy where we break those apart and we're modeling it kind of as a tape diagram. So which problem is easier to solve, friends? If I said to you, okay, class, today you get to pick the problem that you want to solve. Do you want to solve 30 plus 34 or do you want to solve 28 plus 36? And I said, pick the easier one. Which one would you pick? Yeah, maybe or probably 30 plus 34, right? Because it has that friendly number in it. So you could probably do that easier in your head than 28 plus 36. So that's why this is a pretty cool strategy. So friends, 28 plus 36, what is the answer to that? Oh, wait a minute. You're thinking, oh, Mrs. Walker, you're making me do such hard work. But you don't have to, friends. Remember, what's 30 plus 34? Yeah, it's 64, and that also equals 28 plus 36. Okay? All right, so we can also solve this problem using a number bond. So remember how we talked about this in previous lessons. So we can break apart my 36 into 2 and 34. And the reason for that, again, remember, just like we did with our tape diagram, we're trying to make that 28 a friendly number of 30. So if I have 28 plus 2, that gives me 30. And then I have to add together what's left, and then I get back to 30 plus 34, which equals 64. So this is the same way that we just did the tape diagram. We just modeled it differently. All right, friends. So for this one, you guys are going to solve this problem, and you can solve it using a tape diagram or a number bond. So you can work with the new strategy that we just did with the tape diagram or a number bond. So you're going to do 19 plus 35. So go ahead and pause the video, solve this problem, and then click play when you're ready to go over it together. All right, friends, make sure to pause if you need more time. Okay, so here's how I chose to solve this problem. I wanted to use the number bond. The number bond just happens to be one of my favorite strategies. So if I have 35, I know that that 19 is so close to 20, or that friendly number. So I need to add 1 to that. So I need to get 1 out of my 35. So once I do that, I'm left with 34. So now I add 19 plus 1, and that gives me 20. Oh, I love that friendly number. Then after that, I have 34 plus 20, or 20 plus 34. Same thing. Addition, you can flip-flop those numbers and you'll get the same answer. So 20 plus 34 equals 54. So perhaps that's how you solved this problem. So 19 plus 35 equals 54. Now, if you chose to use your number bond, you're going to have 19 on one side, a 1 in the middle, and then 34 on the other side. Okay, so that you'll get to the same answer if you do that correctly. All right, friends, you guys get a 10 out of 10 for adding and subtracting multiples of 10 and ones. So well done with today's lesson, friends. Please head back on over to the module to see what you need to complete for your independent practice. As always, if you have any questions, please let me know. I'd be more than happy to help. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Bye, friends.